Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Video. Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost exactly 90 days, 3 months away from what I believe will be a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime announcement, just being titled by me for simplicity's sake, Yu-Gi-Oh! 9. I do believe we are going to be getting a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime announcement at the Jump Festa event, which for me, living on the East Coast of the United States, will be airing December 15th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You can do time conversions to try to figure out what time it's going to be airing where you are living. I personally will be live for probably that entire event, as we expect a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime to be announced. Now, I'm going to get into why we believe a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime is going to get announced at this event, as well as what type of anime I believe it's going to be. Do I think it's going to be another Rush anime? Do I think it'll return to its origin and be a Master Rule anime? Or do I think we're going to get like a lore anime or something? Really excited to hear from all of you down below. Let's get into it. We are expecting Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 to be announced at this event because Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush is approaching its 2-year mark. And Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s was just a 2-year show. It actually ended in March of 2022, and then Yu-Gi-Oh! 8, which ended up being Go Rush, took over and has now lasted about a year and a half. So conventional wisdom tells us that Go Rush is probably going to be a 2-year show as well, especially with how the story of Go Rush has been progressing recently. It seems like we are getting to our final villain and wrapping up the loose ties that we have here in Go Rush. So Go Rush only having about 25-30 episodes left makes a ton of sense considering where it is in the story. So I really do believe at Jump Festa this year in December, Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 will be announced. And a lot of people always ask me what my predictions are. Do I think it's going to go back to a Master Rule style of anime? Do I think it's going to stay as a Rush Duel? Do I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just going to end as an animated product altogether? Of course not. I mean, I'm never going to think that. But anyway, in this video, I just wanted to outline what I truly believe is going to happen with Yu-Gi-Oh! 9. So in my opinion, Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 is going to be a Rush Duel anime. I think it's going to be another Rush Duel anime. The Rush Duel animes have always felt very trilogy-like to me. I know I've been saying that a lot because Go Rush is a prequel to Sevens in a way. It's also kind of a sequel because we see Yuga's journey post Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s in Go Rush, so it's in a weird space, but we know the timeline actually takes place in the past of Sevens, and it is heavily connected to Sevens, and I do believe that Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 is going to complete the trilogy, and it will be a show that takes place after Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s comes to an end. We actually have a decent bit of knowledge that there is a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Season in production at Studio Bridge, and that is from Twitter user Sumai's. Now, I don't know how much you want to believe this account, but this is not a Yu-Gi-Oh! Account. This is an Anime Leaks account who on August 19th tweeted, Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s by Studio Bridge, new season in production. My honest opinion on this is not that Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s is going to be like reworked and we're going to get a new season of 7s, but this is probably a user that has not really kept up with Yu-Gi-Oh! And just thinks that Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s is still going on, even though we are on a totally new show, because somebody asked them actually recently back on August 30th if there was any news on Yu-Gi-Oh! For this year's Jump Festa, and they replied, 7s is going to continue, nothing in Jump Festa though. This user would go on to make another tweet very recently on September 12th, just stating that a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime is in production. Now, I kind of took the bait on this a little bit, and I asked, is this being done by Studio Bridge? I did not receive a reply from this user, but somebody asked for a source. His reply to them was, trust me, bro. Somebody asked, is this Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s related? And his reply to them was no. So that completely contradicts what this user's tweet was from just a few weeks prior. A lot of people have asked, do I think he's legit? Do I think he's not legit? I honestly have no idea. I've heard very mixed things from very different people. Clearly, some people believe him, some people don't. I don't think it's a crazy prediction to say a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime project is in production, but his tweets on this, that we are getting a new season of Sevens, even though Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens ended almost 2 years ago, and that a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime project is in production, and when someone asked if it's Sevens related, they said no, completely contradicts itself. So I have no idea, but this tweet has been circling the internet. At the time of this video, has 14,000 views on Twitter, and I've been asked about it on a couple of different occasions, so I felt like I probably just needed to address it. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know how legit the source is. I'm not saying it's not legit, but you know, it is the internet, so take everything you see with a grain of salt. That's my general advice for everything. So I think we do have a possibility of going back to the Master Rule style Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. I think Yu-Gi-Oh 10 is maybe the earliest it can happen, and the reason why is because the main Yu-Gi-Oh game does not need an anime to promote it anymore, and Rush Duels are the shiny new toy over in Japan, and from what I've heard, tournaments actually have a pretty good showing out in Japan, and I think the Rush Duel game for a new card game has actually sold pretty well over in Japan, and ultimately that is where the show is aimed at, and that is where the show is marketed to. There's no simulcast or any way to watch it. We do have the English dub, but it seems pretty clear Rush Duels are not going to come out worldwide physically, but we are getting a worldwide Rush Duel release later this year through the mobile app Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. And I think while Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links gets its Rush Duel on, it makes sense for them to continue to promote Rush Duels for another 2 years after Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush ends, and then maybe they'll revisit the idea of doing a Master Rule anime. The truth is, I can't imagine them doing a Master Rule anime unless they are adding a new mechanic or a new, you know, type or something along those lines. And I don't think many people that play Yu-Gi-Oh! Want a new mechanic. I don't think it's necessary right now. The game feels very, I don't want to say bloated, because that's kind of a knock on it, but it does feel a little bloated. It doesn't feel like there's room for an entirely new extra deck mechanic to come into the game, and I think a new anime would probably bring that in. Now, some people might argue and say, well, we don't need a new mechanic to have another anime, but the truth is, every single Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Rule anime added something except GX, but GX heavily focused on fusions, 5Ds Synchros, Zexal XZs, Arc 5 Pendulums, Vrain's Links. We've never had a Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime that didn't add to the game, and so until that happens, I'm just not going to believe that it's a route that Konami is going to want to go down. So because of the state where the main game is at, and because of the Rush game doing well in Japan and still being in its relative infancy stage, I think we are getting another Rush Duel anime here, and I think that is going to be announced in just 100 days. But guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know some things you'd love to see. Like, I'd love to see a lore anime. I think it would be so cool. I don't really buy into that too much. I think that's more likely than a Duel Monsters reboot at this time. Duel Monsters reboot is something I'm not really interested in, as I've said previously. But I think Yu-Gi-Oh! 10 is where we can have a real honest debate if the anime will go back to the Master Game style or if it will stay with Rush Duels. But I think with Yu-Gi-Oh! 9, I feel pretty confident that it will stay as a Rush Duel anime. But let me know down below in the comments. I'm very excited for Jump Festa, and ultimately, I'm very excited to see what the Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 anime will entail. Give me your best predictions. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you down below, and I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys.